questions 1 through 8. Which two states did not adopt? Whoops. Writing on the wrong. Nope, I did it on the right side. Which two states did not adopt the new state constitutions for several years? Genesis.
Rhode Island and Connecticut
Good job. What's your complete sentence?
were the two states that did not adopt the new state constitution for several years.
Good job. Which state set an important precedent by submitting a proposed state constitution to review for ratification before the constitution was adopted? Reckon.
Massachusetts.
Man.
Important proceedings.
Yes, of submitting it to its people for ratification or approval first. Then yes, other states copy this idea. Alright, number 3. What was the legal provision first bound the 13 colonies together as one nation? Chris.
The Articles of Confederation ratified all 13 states.
Yeah, so that was our first document. Now remember, it's not the Constitution, so we are loosely bound together. Number 4, list the 3 main weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation. Alright, Ethan.
Number 4.
Yes.
At least the United States had to approve a measure before it could be pressed by Congress. The central government had no executive or judicial branches. The Confederation Congress lacked the power to tax.
Good job. So those are the 3 weaknesses for it. Number 5, what ordinance provided for the entire Northwest Territory to be surveyed and divided into townships? We'll just start with Ethan, go backwards now.
The land ordinance allowed the Northwest Territory to be surveyed and habited.
Which one though? So there's 2 land ordinances.
The land ordinance, that's what it was called.
Oh yeah, so sorry. Land ordinance of 1785. You gotta know the date. That was
the date?
part of it. Yeah, so 1785. But you're right, that is land ordinance. Alright, going backwards. Number 6. Oh, yeah, number 6. What ordinance provided for the gradual development of the self-government in the Northwest Territory?
The Ordinance of 1787 allows slow development.
Good job. So Northwest Ordinance of 1787. Number 7. Who led an army of farmers and debtors in rebellion in western Massachusetts? It's not Bacon's Rebellion, this is another one.
Daniel Shea.
Good job. What's your complete sentence?
Led a rebellion in Massachusetts of farmers and debtors.
Good job. Alright, the number 8. By giving each state 1 vote, how do the Articles of Confederation represent everyone equally? Why or why not? Alright, Genesis.
The Articles of Confederation, I put the Articles of Confederation tried to represent everyone.
That's a good way to put that.
Why? Because many didn't really accept the fact that it did.
Okay, so keep in mind, what's the problem saying every state gets 1 vote? We haven't talked about this with how our Congress is set up today, but what's the problem if every state gets 1 vote? Alright, Chris.
Because the bigger states that have more people, they need more representation in the country, or a state as well.
Yeah, and so that's the reason why. But also come our Congress today has 2 parts or 2 houses, where you have 1 part that represents each state by number, and the other one represents each part of the country by population. That's why we have 2 parts: the House of Representatives and the Senate. All right, you can go ahead and put that away, or you can be looking at your states and capitals. Let's read through them all together as a class, and then we'll do kind of a fast drill, and then we'll go ahead and just take this. Alright, so starting at Montana, going down. Ready? Begin. Montana, Helena. Nebraska, Lincoln. Nevada, Carson City. New Hampshire, Concord. New Jersey, Trenton. New Mexico, Santa Fe. New York, Albany. North Carolina, Raleigh. North Dakota, Bismarck. Ohio, Columbus. Oklahoma, Oklahoma City. Oregon, Salem. Pennsylvania, Harrisburg. Rhode Island, Providence. South Carolina, Columbia. South Dakota, here. Tennessee, Nashville. Texas, Austin. Utah, Salt Lake City. Vermont, Montpelier. Virginia, Richmond. Washington, Olympia. West Virginia, Charleston. Wisconsin, Madison. Wyoming, Cheyenne. Alright, what's the capital of Ohio, Genesis?
Columbus.
Good job. Olympia is the capital of what, Brecken?
Washington.
Wisconsin has the capital what?
What?
Wisconsin. Capital.
Wisconsin's capital, is it Madison?
Madison. Alright, Cheyenne's the capital of what, Ethan?
Cheyenne is
What's the state?
Wyoming.
Good job. Alright, Charleston.
West Virginia.
Perfect. Alright, Helena. There's an M.
Starts with an M.
M.
Montana.
Montana. Alright, what's the capital of Nebraska?
Right?
Nebraska, no, it's my turn. Nebraska, what's it start with?
L.
L, Lincoln.
Lincoln. Alright, Santa Fe is the capital of what?
New Mexico.
Albany's the capital of what?
New York.
Good job. Trenton's the capital of what?
What did you start with again?
And there's lots of new though, so which news? Trenton.
New Jersey.
Good job. What's the capital of New Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Let's start with
C.
C. Is it Concord?
Good job. Alright, Carson City.
Nevada.
Good job. Alright, Bismarck. The capital of what?
North Dakota.
Good job. Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. What's the capital of Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon.
You're picking all the ones I have to rule with.
I'm sorry,
Oregon,
I'm just
yeah.
randomizing.
Oregon is
S.
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 Salem.
Salem. Alright. Providence.
Rhode Island.
Good job. Harrisburg.
Pennsylvania.
Good job. Columbia.
What did you start with again?
S. There's a couple Souths.
I'm just gonna say South Dakota. I'm just gonna go Carolina.
South Carolina. Alright. Pierre's the capital of what?
Pierre is the capital of.
What did you say a minute ago?
North Dakota. South Dakota.
South Dakota. Alright. What's the capital of Tennessee? Ethan.
Memphis.
Okay, that's a good guess, but no.
Wait, it wasn't.
What?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Nashville.
Nashville.
I don't know
Okay.
why I said Memphis.
Memphis is another
I was
kind
just
of
thinking about
important-
Memphis.
It's okay.
Nashville hot
Grizzlies.
chicken.
Alright, so just making sure. Nashville. What's the capital
I don't know what I
of
was
Texas? Good. What's the capital of Vermont?
Montpelier, something like
Yeah,
that.
it looks. It's kind of hard.
Somewhat.
Montpelier.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's what you said.
Alright, what's the capital of
Be
Utah?
quiet.
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. What's the capital of Virginia? Oh, sorry.
Richmond.
Excuse me.
Richmond is the capital of Virginia. Good job. Alright, that's Olympia. Ashland. Okay, I think we went through all
What does
of
that say on the board
That's what I was looking. I was like,
Which one? For SC?
for UNH?
you.
For you state.
That's a F.
Yeah,
United
SC
States
quiz. States capitals quiz.
That's all we're doing today.
No.
No, it stands for South Carolina quiz. But anyway.
Alright. Anyone
Really?
another minute? We want to go ahead and just take it.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, go.
What quiz is this?
This is 311 and you actually get one today.
Bruh, I already went through the paper.
I save
still
it. Just
are
save
free.
it. Just save it. You know you're always going to have more.
That's in a rank.
Not to tear up my lumber.
But we had no. We actually have a
You're
Spanish
low.
quiz today. You love it, isn't it?
I'm gonna go home. My dad's gonna see my backwards and he's gonna abandon me for a second.
He's gonna say adios.
Okay? No. No, but this is being recorded for YouTube.
Oh, what's up?
No, it's not. Alright, put it up of everything except for a pen.
Alrighty.
You don't need covers if you're so close together.
So close.
Well, sorry, put yourself apart from each other. Wrong phrase. Wrong phrase. Alright, so that first section, you were writing the state. The state. In that second section, you were writing the capital. So, hopefully I can help you to figure out. Who's it? I wonder what was wrong with you.
Bruh.
No. Over there. Yes, go ahead and get started. Write your name and date at the top. Today is still the 16th, in case you forgot what date it is.
It's the 45th.
No. 16th.
I thought it was the 61st.
Leave the poor dyslexic people alone.
Wait, it's the 16th?
16th.
Okay.
ahead and I'll take it up for you. Because that's kind of your freebie, right?
Oh, I've already used one. Maybe I have time.
I've used mine, haven't I?
Ethan, you have not.
I haven't?
You have not. Chris has.
I think I got all of them.
Okay. So we don't have like 20 minutes left, so we're half over.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. This is your warning, but it needs to stay on your finger or go in your pocket. Anyone's still working, I'm not rushing, I just wanna check to make sure. Okay. You're already done, just meditate about life. Sit quietly. Solid journaling. Not really. It makes me nervous whenever you start doing that.
She wishes the book was open.
But it's not. Can't help you. Do you need some drinks? Because you're scraping the skin off.
Just skin cells.
Alright, you sure you're done? Alright, so this is the last time we're gonna talk about states and capitals for a while, which some of you that's exciting. Some of you not
Boring.
that exciting. Alright, but go ahead and turn over to page 530. So the next set.
We're doing for President's Day?
What? Not quite yet, we gotta do something else first.
President next year.
No, we start the presidents, I think, after the quarter exam. Alright, wait, you can't talk about quiz answers, so just be careful if you look up the answers and that's what I'm talking about. So page 530. 530, you will notice that you have the Federalist Papers in your book. You don't have to memorize them, but you do have a Federalist essay. So, this is your next meeting. Now, you don't have an editorial from now until after the quarter exam. I'm sorry. But this is your Federalist paper essay. So you'll notice that your book has two Federalist essay papers in the back of the book. One of them is longer than the other. Don't just think, I'm going to pick the shorter one and then pick that one. Because you have to write your essay about the Federalist Papers. You haven't learned quite what the Federalist Papers are yet. But the Federalist Papers were written to basically convince the people, here's the reason why we need the Constitution, not the Articles of Confederation. So you'll notice that it starts on page 530. And then it goes, both of them, to page 536. You'll notice one of them is substantially shorter than the other one, but you have to write an essay I asked Mrs. Henderson, and she thinks that she already taught y'all how to write an essay in 11th grade. So if you don't know how to do it, either go ask her or go ask me, and I'll teach you how. Because I also know how to write an essay, and I also own the grammar book. And I went to the college that wrote the grammar book, and as a freshman, I tested into the advanced English class because I knew how to do grammar, and I can recognize misplaced modifiers, fragments, run-ons, and incomplete. I thought tonight.
Sure about that?
Sentences.
And I
A
can
lot of
recognize
them-
Saint when I
a
see
lot-
it.
A lot of cases I can. Now keep in mind for your editorials, I'm pretty gracious on grading because I'm checking just to make sure, are you accurate? But if you've had me for STEM projects, you remember how much I believe, how much
So why
I
do we
go
have to
through
do this?
them, and I have to go there because your curriculum requires it, and you have to do it.
Well, you know what?
But it's
For
so
pick
that
the-
way,
for-
wait, we gotta keep going. So, that's the reason why you have to do it. So I have been grading pretty leniently on your sentence structure. Some of you, your sentence structure is kind of sad. But I've been grading pretty leniently
We're not doing
because
this.
this isn't English class. But since this is an actual paper, an actual essay, I'm gonna have to start getting picky about it. Those are the 2 questions you are answering. Write them down so you will not forget and not come ask me in like 3
Give me a
days.
We have
Which
to answer
one-
both?
Yeah, those 2 questions as your essay. That's the questions you're answering. So, what view did the founding fathers have in mind when writing Federalist Paper number 10 or 51? You get to pick. I don't care which one you pick, but one of them is shorter than the other one. Remember, since you're writing an essay, you want to make sure you have enough stuff to talk about. So just because one's shorter doesn't mean it's the better one. Read them both so you can tell, okay, which one can I go off of the most and which one can I get enough information on. It is written in a little bit of old English and older language, so it's not like old, like Shakespeare old, but it is something to where you probably want to be able to think of, okay, it's going to take some time to read to understand. So, what view do the founding fathers have in mind when writing Federalist number 10 or Federalist number 51? They're both in your book. Pick one.
So we're going to pick one.
You'll have to pick one. Alright, and then part 2. What examples in today's governmental structure support these views of the founding fathers? These are the 2 parts, or the 2 questions you are answering with your thesis statements, if you remember, because this is an essay. So that should be the last sentence of your first paragraph of your essay. So you should say something along the lines of the founding fathers intended in Federalist number 10 to have this type of government. And we see this in what would be possible. Probably 3 examples is what you want to shoot for. Alright. Anyone still need this slide to copy down? Okay.
Just
okay.
a second.
Okay.
What does it
Okay.
do?
Okay. So you have to tell me which essay you were choosing.
So we have to choose. Oh, I thought we had to do both.
No, you have to do one. Pick one.
Wait.
That's why I said pick one. So Federalist number 10 or Federalist number 51.
Oh,
Choose one.
that was just a good question.
I'm not telling you. Read them. Read them both.
So wait, we have to do both questions. We can just pick. We just have to tell you which.
Oh no no.
one.
You pick which questions, but you're only doing one of the like Federalist number 10 or Federalist number 51.
I have 2 questions.
Okay, so
I'm
you're gonna
confused.
you're gonna answer both questions.
Okay, you're answering both questions.
That's what I
Yes.
was.
I thought you were asking
No.
asking when you said do you have to do both? I thought you meant both as like both documents. That Federalist number 10.
Can you use both federal
That's
number
all one
10
essay?
and 51?
Yes.
Like both those questions?
Wait. Yes, that's for one essay. Both those questions you're answering in your thesis statement for one essay.
Okay.
Alright, but you do not have to read and use both essays. No. Because they were written at 2 different times, we're talking about 2 different things. They're both about the Constitution, but they're addressing specific
When was
aspects.
number 51 written?
What?
When was the newest one written?
I mean, these were written like back in the day, but they wrote a bunch of Federalist papers basically saying, here's why we need the Constitution. So they came out at different times.
Question.
Okay.
Are we doing drafts?
Yes.
When's the first draft?
Okay, wait. Everyone still need this slide.
Yes, I'm still slow.
I'm
Okay.
writing one
Can I
more
just
word.
take a picture of it with the phone? It's not in my pocket.
It better not be.
It's not.
Stand up.
It better not be.
It's
Okay, if you need it after school and you'd rather just come after school, and take a photo of the slide, that is fine.
Rather do
That's
that.
okay. That's
Rather
okay.
do
Okay,
that.
just remember though,
I
don't
will.
ask me in a couple days, what am I supposed to be doing?
I will.
Okay, so, moving on from this slide then, and to answer your question, you have to tell me which Federalist paper you are writing about. So you must choose 10 or
10.
51, doesn't matter which one. You must choose by Friday. So you have to tell me by Friday which
Words.
one you are choosing.
How many?
Requirements!
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
that's because that's what it requires in the curriculum. So that's what we're going off of. 500 to 600 words. You have to have 8 paragraphs. So you're going to have an introduction paragraph, you should know what that is. you're gonna have your body, which should be 6 paragraphs. Okay, so you're gonna have one saying, here's what the founding fathers recommend. Alright, Ethan and Chris, sit up. For real. Alright, so you're gonna have one paragraph, here's what the founding fathers meant in the Federalist Paper. Here's what we see today. It might be similar, it might be different, but you should shoot for 6 paragraphs in the body. So you're shooting for here's a paragraph saying here's the founding fathers meant. Here's what we see today. Quick question, Ethan? I'm sorry. Alright, so make sure that you have those 3 parts to your essay. If you don't know how to write an essay, if you haven't had practice yet, come see me, come see Mrs. Henderson. So you should have an introduction paragraph, which is with an intention getter. You should have your thesis statement saying, here's my answer to those 2 questions. Your body should say, here's one different, here's what the founding fathers met in Federalist number 10. Here's one thing they met, here's what we see today. Here's something else, here's what we see today. Here's something else, here's what we see today. So you should have 6 paragraphs basically saying, here's what we saw, here's what we see today. So those are 6 paragraphs, and then 1 paragraph, conclusion paragraph. Remember, the first sentence of the conclusion paragraph has to be a restatement of your original thesis statement. So again, this is in the handbook. I know how to do it, Ms. Henderson knows how to do it. So if you have any questions about how to write the essay, come see one of us. We're going through this kind of quick because it's not the point of this class, because it kind of assumes you already know how to do it. Okay,
2 things.
fast.
Yeah. So is this due March 31st, or is this due by the end of the quarter?
It's due in, I'm not going to tell you, because you need to, because I don't want you to freak out.
She's like,
But you need to
It's due
have,
Monday. It's due Monday.
Friday?
It's due Monday.
okay, you have to choose which paper you're doing by Friday. Your first rough draft will be due, not Monday.
I'm
Freak out.
on
But
Sunday.
It's due Sunday.
It's due the next Monday. So you have about 2 weekends to work on it. So I'm giving you 2 weekends. So make sure you're still working on it. You have to have quotations from the Federalist Paper. You should have quotations from the Federalist Paper. Now keep in mind, if you use quotations from an online source, what do you have to give me?
Citation.
Who actually wants to cite?
No one.
Nobody.
I
Yeah.
do.
You probably don't want to.
You're
You have to give me a bid page if you do.
I like this.
As long as you know what you're doing, because I also know how to do it. So if it's wrong, you take your points off.
Okay.
So that's okay. We want to make sure that you're doing them correctly for it.
Are we gonna learn anything today?
Probably not at
I
this
was
rate.
looking forward to learning.
I'm sorry. Alright, so make sure you have quotations from the Federalist Paper that it is you saying the founding father met here. And then give me a quote. Remember, you don't have to cite the Federalist Paper. Since you're talking about the Federalist Paper, you don't have to give a citation and bid page for that. But it better be in quotations, because otherwise, what is it if you're taking the ideas and not putting it in? Yeah, so make sure you're putting it through.
I know.
Alright, anyone have any questions about this? You can also take a picture of the actual.
Alright.
Can I cry yet?
What?
Can I cry yet?
Not yet.
Alrighty.
Alright. Federalist essay standard
Oh my-
format. So what you've been using. So Times Roman font, double point, so 12 point font, double space. So that should jack up your page numbers. You're gonna have about 3 to 4 pages probably. Probably no, only double space. Only double space. You want to have your heading at the top of the paper, so your Federalist essay, Federalist number 10 essay, or Federalist number 51 essay. You need 1-inch margins all the way around. This is a ½ inch indent for all paragraphs. I just hit a lot of the basics. Basically, if you do it for Mrs. Henderson, do it for me. If you don't do it for Mrs. Henderson, don't try some weird funky thing for me. Don't do it. I will recognize it because I grade the STEM projects and I see how it's supposed to look all the time, and I will notice. That is weird and that is not right. So these are just the basics for it. So ask me if you have any type of particular question. Make a note for the heading. You're gonna have 3 single spaces after it. That's standard format as well. So if you have a question about how to do that, I can show you. Mr. Dasky knows how to do that. Mrs. Henderson knows how to do that. So most of us know how to do it. If you have a question, ask us. We can help you out. So again, you can either write this down or take a picture of it after school. Alright, Chris, is it a fast question?
Yeah.
Fast question.
We don't do Times New Roman font, 12-point font, or 1-inch margins, or 0.5 indent for all paragraphs for Miss Henderson. So does that mean we
you do
don't have
now.
to do them?
Nope, you do now.
Oh, okay.
For me.
What if it
Because I get all of my papers done that way from STEM project. Which if you did STEM projects last year, this is the exact same thing. So this is the exact same thing that I asked for last year. If you didn't do it last year, I'll help you. So that's why I'm
I have
helping you
a
again.
question.
Alright, fast.
3 questions.
Okay.
The first draft has to be typed.
Please don't
Yeah.
write it.
Yeah. Type it because it'll help you. Because again, this is 500 to 600
Well,
words. You want to
actually, it
write a
will
rough draft of 500, 600 words.
It will
to
help,
be typed.
so I don't have to retype it.
Yeah. So, yes, the first draft has to be typed
I read
because
that.
no one wants to handwrite 500 to 600 words and then go back and retype the 500, 600 words.
Yeah.
So, save yourself
break
some
up
time,
the margins.
save your time, type it, the first step has to be typed.
Going
Okay,
out to
wait,
one.
you still have two more questions, what was your other question? I thought you said you had 3 questions.
It's not about that, but I wanted to learn preamble and Gettysburg Address.
Wait, we'll come to that, just wait. Okay,
Yeah,
anything about this?
essay.
Alright, anyone have any questions about this?
Self-report.
Alright, anyone have any questions about it? Wait, is it a question? Alright, so you were asking about the preamble. Yes, that is actually the next thing I'm going to work on memorizing. So go ahead and turn over to page 536. That is, I gotta introduce it. Because the quiz for the
I've
preamble
already learned this.
is next Wednesday.
That's
So
not that
if you
long.
don't, yeah, it's not long. It's only like 52 words. It's not bad at all. So compared to the Federalist paper, it's not bad.
Is it oral?
There's, what? Wait, what?
Is it oral?
Is it world what?
Oral.
No,
Can it be?
No, you gotta write it.
The entire time.
Yeah, it's 52
I've already
words.
learned it in 6th
It's
grade.
52 words.
I
Alright.
learned it in 6th grade.
Hang on, we gotta keep going. So, you might have seen the schoolhouse rock camp song that goes around for it. That is probably the best way to learn it. I have it. Genesis, I don't know if it'll, not Genesis, I'm sorry. Jamie and Quentin, I don't know if it'll show up well over the camera because it didn't work well in another class.
Right?
But, you may get the light.
Only know
But this is one of the reasons why we practice with this, because the song is probably the easiest way to go ahead and learn it. So if you don't know the song, I would suggest learning it. There's only one problem with the song. They leave off one phrase of it, but the rest of the song is great for it. Alright. Chris, you have a question?
I didn't say anything.
I know, but I heard something. So do you have a question for this?
Him and Brooklyn were good sign language.
Do you have a question? I'm just asking. Okay, so just make sure you're not getting overly distracted with whatever's happening back there, Genesis. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
My eyes. Oh no.
It's old, I know. No time to do this video though. We have barely enough time to finish it, I think.
In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers did agree to write a list of principles for keeping people free.
It's old, I know.
The USA was just starting out a whole brand new country, and so our people spelled it out the things that we should be. And they put those principles down on paper and called it the Constitution. And it's been helping us run our country ever since then. The first part of the Constitution is called the Preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do. We the people in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Alright. So, you need to start reading the Federalist Papers today. So, if you don't have any official homework, but you better start reading because it's going to take you a while. So, when do you have to choose which one by, Ethan? Friday. So make sure you read them today. That way you know which one you're choosing.